What's up, people? Dark Fool. How have you been? Been a while. You know the drill. I make videos whenever I feel like it, and today I feel like it. This video is in response to Thomas LeRoy and Mistress Babylon's video, "You Are Born a Satanist." And that is a famous quote by Anton LaVey. Satanists are born, not made. And, well, there are a couple points in those videos that I do agree with, but there are a couple things that I slightly disagree with, which is why I'm making this video response. So, let's get into it.
You shouldn't have to experiment. You're not experimenting if it is you.
Exactly, and I actually, and I agree, but I don't see how people, once they have become, or they take their journey on the left-hand path, how do you walk away from that? What detour do you take that suddenly is, oh, I am not of the left-hand path?
See, this right here is the core reason why I am making this video. Mistress Babylon states, how do you walk away from the left-hand path if it is you? And all throughout the video, I'll show a clip later too, Thomas likens being on the left-hand path to being gay. It's just naturally who you are, right? If you are naturally a dissenter, then you're always going to be a dissenter. If you naturally question things, you're just always going to be that person that questions things. And that is where I do agree that you are born a Satanist.
It's, in the end, for a Satanist to stop being a Satanist would be like a gay person to stop liking dick. And if you're really gay, that would be impossible.
However, there is a slight angle that I don't think a lot of people see. Well, first of all, this comparison to a belief system, a way of thinking, whatever you want to call it, to being gay, there is a slight difference in the sense that being a homosexual means that it is biologically ingrained in you, and there is a little bit of that, but when it comes to being a dissenter, however, it's something you are born with, it is something that you go throughout life carrying, etc. When you are on a path, okay, when you are on a path, you are on a path of, self-discovery, let's put it that way. And sometimes you may outgrow certain things. Sometimes you may find certain things that jive with you later on in life. Sometimes as you grow up, your consciousness evolves. And that's really the core of what I'm getting at in this video, is that paths, whether it's right-hand path, left-hand path, whether it's Jainism, whether it's Scientology, as you're going along on paths, you're discovering yourself and you're evolving. Your consciousness is evolving. And that is the difference between that and being gay. Being gay is something that is going to be a part of you, but your consciousness is an ever-evolving thing, especially as you get older. So how do you walk away from the left-hand path if it is you? Well, that's another thing I really want to discuss because, I myself am writing a book on middle path Dionysianism. I've taken a step out of the left-hand path. At one point, the left-hand path was me. It still is in many respects, don't get me wrong. However, as my consciousness evolved, as I've changed over time, I've realized there are certain things about it that need to be, for me personally, I need to step away from. Certain things that I will keep and always value of the left-hand path, things that I think are just absolute gems. Self-discovery, dissent, questioning, all of these things, all of these attributes, there's a lot more, but elements of the left-hand path, individualism, individual gnosis, etc., all of these things of the left-hand path are gems, and I will never, ever, how should I say, talk ill of them, or speak ill of them, or whatever. They will always be traits of mine that I will carry with me throughout life. But where I dissent from that is in the sense that it's so opposite, in the other direction, the extreme goes in the opposite direction, that the individualism takes too much of a hold, and when it comes to the opposition of the right-hand path, which is doing some horrendous things to mankind, to society, etc., when it comes to being a movement against the right-hand path, that's where left-hand path is not so helpful, in the sense that getting people together to fight for a cause is like herding cats, because everybody has that individualism going so much. The one exception within recent years that I have seen, and this needs to be noted, is, drum roll please, the sect of the Horn God. That is the one exception that I have seen throughout many of the left-hand path movements that have come out, or whatever, what have you, whether it's a website here, a group forum there. The sect of the Horn God focuses on bringing the left-hand path out into the real, and to question and to push back against the right-hand path. They are the only ones that I see doing this in modern times, which is why I'm still behind them 100%, while at the same time promoting middle path Dionysianism, etc.
There's that independence, that flame. How do you suddenly fucking blow that out?
Because they were never on it.
Because they were never on it. Exactly.
Never on it from the very beginning.
And it's
now see, some people may have never been on it. Some people, and you can always spot who these people are. These people are generally people that get caught up in the glamour of Satanism and the left-hand path. Like, oh yeah, back in the 90s I was a Satanist, but now I'm a single mom with 5 kids, and I just want to teach them morals. So, Jesus had all those morals and shit, so now I'm just teaching them what's right and what Jesus would want. People that just bounce back and forth. You can tell who these people are because they get caught up in the glamour. And it's so easy, it's so artificial, it's so shallow. People that are genuinely on the left-hand path will have something deep and philosophical to bring to the table, something unique and of substance to bring to the table. But people that are just on it for the sake of being on it, you can tell. But my argument against that is, some were never on it, some were on it as a fad, but others, like I've been saying all throughout this video, they see certain things and they move past it. And I believe, Thomas, you brought up in one of your other videos an example of Aleister Crowley. Now, Aleister Crowley was part of the Order of the Golden Dawn at one point, but he hit a plateau. There was a point in the Golden Dawn to where he said, okay, I have to get out of this and do my own thing, and that's what he did. That's very much how I see what I'm doing. I hit a plateau within the left-hand path. No hard feelings, just going to do my own thing and go out there and promote something else. But at the same time, I really like what the sect of the Horn God has been doing and is continuing to do and continuing to strive for. So, like I said before, I back you guys up 100%. Still a part of that. So that's pretty much all I got for this video. Is that on certain points, certain parts of the path that may have been you at one point, but your consciousness can evolve. You can begin to realize certain things and move past things regardless of what label they are. Left-hand path, right-hand path, it doesn't matter as long as you realize things are constantly evolving. I still support the sect of the Horn God because they're pushing back. I myself am going to be pushing back with my own movement, middle path, Dionysianism. It's not going to be confrontational, but at the same time it's not going to be submissive either. Middle path. Middle. So stay tuned, find out more about that later.